Hello and welcome. So in the previous part of this tutorial we made this simple science fiction based game asset kind of, and in this tutorial we'll then apply the same geometry nodes to a more complex shape uh, to see if this works for a complex one as well. Okay, so let's begin. First let's hide the pathway that we already have. And now we need to add the shape that we want our new pathway to follow. For that we will add another vertex, and let's create the shape that we want. Just move it along the Y to 10. And now I want my pathway to have inclines as well, so create your shape accordingly. I'll move this along Y to 2. Extrude once more to 4, and let's extrude once more to 7. Now extrude on the x-axis to -3. Let's enable snapping to vertex, and now extrude on the y and snap it to the matching vertex on the other side. The width is less than we want, so let's move the one side of the shape a bit further. So there's a difference of this is at 4 and this is at 7, so there's a difference of 3, so this is at 5 -5, and this should be also at -5 -5 and -5. Now this one is at 2, and this should be then be at -1. Extrude it on the X again to here. Now this bit needs to be more elevated, so select these G, Z, and let's move them to about 1. Let's go out of the edit mode, let's add a geometry nodes and then apply our pathway. Now you can see that it has no bubbles on the edges, so that's why it's behaving like this. Let's create bubbles here, here, and here. We also need to extrude it once more to match the upper part, so let's extrude this on the Y again to here, and let's now bevel. Control Shift B, add about 7 segments, and you can see that this has created the pathway correctly, but the corners aren't that great. So this is because that our pathway is much larger than the room it has to create a proper curve here. So let's increase the size of our shape. That looks much better. And for the elevated vertices, let's move them so this looks good. Now we need to decide where we're going to merge the second story to this bit. So for that, um, we can merge it to here, or we can merge it to halfway on the incline. So for that, let's select edges and let's subdivide this edge into two, and then delete these two vertices. So this is now here. Now we need to duplicate this edge and merge it here. So let's shift D to here. It's gone up to the wrong vertex, so let's move it to here. Select all and merge all the vertices. So remove one vertex. These two are merged together. Okay, so now then we move to creating the stories, and for that we need to convert our input path to a instance. So let's add a geometry to instance node right about here. And then we need to duplicate these instances. So the amount will be coming in from the group inputs. So let's rename this as stories. A minimum of 1, and we can go up to 10. Now we need to create a logic where each successive story or floor is shifted exactly above the previous one. So for that we'll have to do some math. Let's add a multiply node, rather math node. Input the index of the duplicates, change it to multiply, and we need to provide a value of the height of these this vertex to be exact. So this one is about 1.3462 and this one is 40362. So there is roughly about a distance of 3 meters. We'll adjust this later to exactly align it where we want it to be. So once this is done, we then need to set a once this is done, we need to combine XYZ, input this value to the Z, add it, set position nodes, and input this vector to the offset. connect this geometry node to here, and then we need to join all these duplicates together. We need to join it to the original one as well. So we're just working on the initial mesh curve. So obviously we need to then convert it into a mesh to curve node. And let's input the amount of stories to 2 or 3 just to test it out. We also need a way to join the vertices together where they meet. So for that you can use the merge by distance node. This will merge the matching vertices together depending on the distance, and then we can convert it into a curve and move ahead with the other logic. We are not getting the instances right now, so what we need to change is that we want to duplicate the elements as instances. So now you can see that this has created multiple stories, multiple floors. But you can also see that there is a bit of misalignment where it's supposed to have merged the vertices together. So this alignment needs to be corrected, and we can adjust it with the multiply node. So if we go on zoom, and let's disable the curve for now. So let's move it down to 0. Move all the level vertices to 1. And let's move this one to 2. Now we'll have a definite offset value. And now if we see that it is correctly aligned. If you feel like they're too close together, the floors, you'll have to increase the distance of the initial curve. So I've aligned this to z equals 0 and this to 2, so you can double these values to, if this is at 0, you can move these vertices to 2 and this one to 4. So now if you go to the edit mode, it should be something like this, and you can then increase the offset to 4 as well. So this gives you this multi-flow walk pathway. The incline is a bit steep. That is because we've increased the distance between the two floors. You can scale it on the y-axis, but let's do this. And you can then get something like this. Now there is a bit of a misalignment where the two vertices meet. We can adjust it with the tilt node. Let's add a tilt node here. And for selection, we can add a endpoint node. We just need to apply the tilt to the last vertex. So set start to 0 and end size to 1. This will select the last vertex that you have here. So let's increase the tilt a bit, and you can see that 0.8 fixes our issue quite perfectly. That is it for now. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll be texturing this model. See you then.